hello everyone. This is KP the Math G, and yeah, it's been a while since I've done another video. This will make my 158th video. I may do my 159th video on parts A and B. We're going to deal with part C of the 2022 free response question number 1. And I probably have several other similar videos to this, but this is really important that we understand this one. I did part D, so if you want to go back to look at part D, you're welcome to do that. That's a really important one as well. And but this one here we're going to look at this point. Excuse me. The rate at which vehicles arrive at a certain toll is given by A at t is equal to 450 times the square root of sine, that is sine of 0.62 t from time t at, well, from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. Alright, now the question is, part C is the rate at which the vehicle arrives, or which vehicles arrive at the toll plaza, increasing or decreasing at 6 a.m., that is t is equal to 1. Now where did t equals 1 come from? Well, if you look at from 5 to 10 a.m., time t is 0 at 5 a.m., and then t is equal to 1 at 6 a.m. So that's where the t equals 1 comes from. Let's look at this problem now. It says the rate. Now this is the rate. It's given by A at t is equal to this, right? That is the rate, isn't it? Now is the rate, this rate right here, is this rate increasing or decreasing? Well, think about it now. And I had to think about this too. You can't just plug 1 into this, because what they're asking for is this rate here increasing or decreasing? So when you see this increasing or decreasing, and I know it can be a tricky problem, so please don't misunderstand and just go ahead and plug the 1 in right there. When you see increasing or decreasing, you're seeing is this rate increasing or decreasing. So we're taking a rate of this rate right here. So what we really want to find here, ladies and gentlemen, is A prime. Now why A prime? Because you're taking a derivative, because this says increasing or decreasing. Anytime you see something increasing or decreasing, you're going to take a derivative of whatever this is. Even though this is a rate, you're still going to see if this rate is increasing or decreasing. So you have to take the derivative. Now at what? Well, t is 1. So what we're looking for is that right there. A prime at 1. So the first thing that I would do if I were you, I would, and I've already done this problem, so I'm going to back it up again and I'm going to clear this. And the first thing I'm going to do is, you have on your calculator, hopefully your graphing calculator is going to say y equals. When you press that y equals, some calculators, mine in particular, when you press this one, you'll have a row of y0, y1, y2, and so on. and it may say of x, okay, of x, of x, of x, like that, and say equals. So if I were you, I would go ahead and put this a at t into this 450 times the square root of sine of 0.62t inside, in my case, y sub 0. Okay, so this is what I did. I simply just put the whole thing in there. Now you have to, when you're copying this in there, first of all you got to make sure you hit sine and not some other function, which I know you're not going to get careless with. But this 0.62 and t goes in parentheses like that. The first thing you need to do is double check to make sure that you put this, that you copied this down correctly into y2. You might have y1 to start with, okay? I have y sub 0, so that's where I have that. So make sure that you have that on there when you start, and that makes your problem a whole lot easier, okay? Put that in there. Now, you have on your calculator, let me flip this over, okay? You have on your calculator this word math. So this is a calculator problem. It's not one that you can do free-handedly, okay? You have math on your calculator. I do believe you do. So you hit math, okay? And then what you want to hit is, for what the calculator I have is a TI-84, all right? And so down here on mine it shows number 6. It says in derivative, okay? So it says in derivative, all right, something like that, okay? And I'm abbreviating that, so, and it may have, well, it's not going to be in, okay, so it'll be together like this, and I think it looks something like that. Now that's what mine looks like. Now yours may vary or look a little differently, and you may be able to get it right off of your, somewhere in a menu somewhere. But I can click that on, okay? And just for, alright, so let me get out of this. Now, I'm going to do it again, math, and then the derivative. And what you see here on mine, now, of course, mine is different than, it may be the same. Yours may have this. It may have a d, dx, something like this, of whatever, okay? And then you have a cursor in here blinking maybe, alright, and then at the bottom you have x equals, and you have a box right here. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead, and since mine is y sub 0, I'm just going to put y sub 0 because that's what you, now to get that, to get the y0 in there, you need to put down, now on mine, on my calculator, I have to do alpha, and see, I'm not familiar, it's been a while since I've been out from teaching, so bear with me if this is not the same with you. Now you may have something like, you want to get to y bar is what you want to do, and that's the way I get to y bar. That's the key. You may have to do something else, but you want to get to y bar. So I'm going to hit alpha and y bar, and I'm going to put my y sub 0 right there. And it shows up inside here. Alright, so my y0 there. And then scroll over like this until you get to the x equals. Alright, well, x equals, and then 1. Okay, and then hit enter. Enter. Okay, so something is not working properly here. Let me see. Let me go back to, I had this working perfectly when I first did this. So let me see. Y equals, oh, it took it out completely. That's why it's not in there. So let's see. I need to put it back in there. 450. Let's see. Sine of 0.6. Let's see. I think that's what it is there. No wonder I didn't come up with an answer. 0.62. Alright, in this case x. Now, let's try it again. Alright, sorry about that. I did have it in there. Now, it comes up. Okay, now let's see. Alright, let's try it again. We'll try it one more time. Okay, now, it should be a lot easier now. And now x equals 1. Okay, enter. And you should be getting an answer like this. Let's see where I'm at right here. Okay, so when you do that, if you put the 1 in, you should be getting an answer of 148.947. Now, that's what I'm getting here. Now, you got to make sure too that your calculator is in radian mode too. You don't want to have it in degree mode. You want to have it in radian mode. Okay, so make sure you have that. Alright, so once you do that, then you see this is a positive number, okay? And because it is positive, we know that this is greater than 0. Alright, and you just might say because this number right here is greater than 0, at t equals 1, the number of vehicles at 6 a.m. Were increasing, or are increasing. Alright, so that's what you should have. If you had a negative number, it would be less than 0, the number of vehicles at 6 a.m. would be decreasing, and that's what the question is. You're taking the derivative of a rate already, okay? So it's kind of a rate of a rate. Anywhere, at any rate, that's what you're trying to do. You want to find out what this is here now. So back up again, and I did. Okay, so when I put this back in there, and I did not take the square root there, so I got a different answer when I first did this. But okay, if you don't put it in correctly, you are going. I did get a positive answer, so let me back it up just a little bit. I want to make sure that I'm putting it in correctly, and so square root now of sine of, now I can get it right, of 0.62x. Okay, I'm sorry, this does take a little more time. When you mess up, you know, now I can do that. And now when I do it again, I'm just going to try it again. Math, and then the derivative. Okay, so still go to y var plug that in there, and then put that 1 in there, and then of course now it shows up correctly. Okay, 148.947 is what I got, and so that is again the idea. I still gave you the right idea. I messed up by not putting the square root. I knew I got a positive answer, but I forgot to put the square root in there. So after putting the square root in there, I got this answer right here. Okay, so that's what I did here. 148.947. This number is greater than 0. So then, at t equals 1, the number of vehicles at 6 a.m. are increasing, or were increasing, whatever. So, just a few things that you just have to remember to do. I know every calculator is a little bit different, so please bear with me if you have to deal with the one I was using. But needless to say, the general idea, once again, is when you see the rate, you're taking the rate of this. That means you're looking at A prime at 1. So if you can figure out how to store that into YO, and plug and put this in exactly, I didn't put it in exactly, I left off, put this in there at your YO or your Y1, okay? And if you can do that, now if you want to just go ahead and plug it in straight, you can do that, and that may save you more time than, but you got to make sure that you put everything in Y0 or Y1 in correctly, okay? Make sure you get the decimal point in the correct place, and do include the T in the parentheses, okay? And then once you do that, this is the idea right here. Okay, that's the main idea when trying to do this. Alright, so once you do that, then go to your math. And I had in deriv like this. I don't know if you did or not, but you can, it may be somewhere in one of your menus. Look for this right here. Okay, it may have even a different, something that looks like this, but anyway, you're going to put in that Y0 or Y1, and then plug in the X equals 1. Don't forget to do that. Hit enter. Oh, now you know this is positive. It is greater than 0, and that's what the question is asking. Is the rate at which vehicles arrive at the toll plaza increasing? So you might even say, the rate at which vehicles arrive at the toll plaza is increasing because this number here, 148.947, is greater than 0. That's it. So just be careful that the first thing that I found when I first started thinking about this is when I saw the rate, I said, well, this is the rate. I'm just going to plug the 1 in right there. No, do not do that. The rate, because it's asking, is it increasing or decreasing? So you're taking a rate of something that's already a rate. That's okay, all right? But that's how you find out increasing or decreasing, because you've got to take the derivative of whatever this gives you. Okay. So anyway, there it is. Anyway, this is, I hope you can see me, because I know that probably my head gets cut off sometimes so I have to kind of lean down just a little bit. My name is KP the Math G. This is the name my name is really Kirkpatrick. So to make my name shorter, people started calling me KP, and then some other kids started saying, well, let's call him KP the Math G. I would ask kids, what does G stand for? And they would say genius or guru. Well, okay, no, I don't claim to be a genius. And if anybody want to call me a guru, whatever, that's fine. And if G stands for something else, well, let's hope it's something good, right? Listen, if you want to subscribe to this, please do so. If you want to make a comment, you are more than welcome to make a comment. Please do that. And, hit that like button. Even when I say, as I'm saying, hit the like button, that puts a big smile on my face. So, all right, do that. And do appreciate everyone who does listen to this and watch this. This will help you tremendously, okay? So please do that and everything will be all right. And I think what I'll do, I'm going to try to do another video on the first two parts, A and B. Those should go fairly quickly, especially part A. Just remember, think about what you're doing when you're doing these, okay? Increasing, decreasing, you need to take a derivative. Okay, that's KP, the Math G. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great, great day.